Well, is a Cuse guy, 2006 grad at Syracuse. Matt, great to have you on. When's the last time you were back on campus? Just curious.
Yeah, it's funny, guys, and great to be with you. Was just telling Tim, your producer, that it's probably been 2019. Was up to do a Colgate football game, and I think that was the last time. So about 6 years.
Wow. All right. So I would assume you're looking forward to it. What's your go-to spot when you come back? Where do you got to go?
I mean, it's probably cliche as a Cuse grad, but got to get a slice of pizza at the Varsity, and we're going to dinner at Dino most likely tonight. I'm gonna take Joe Lunardi there and show him what the original dinosaur barbecue is all about.
All right. Has he ever been? Has Joe ever been?
I don't know. He's sitting here in the back. Have you ever been to Dinosaur Barbecue?
We went to the one in Rochester.
Oh. Yeah, the one in Rochester.
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. He's got to go to the one in Syracuse. Go ahead,
how's the before we get into this part? How's the drive? Because we've got
it's not great
snow
here.
Watching effect here.
So we're on the Northeast Extension. We just left Philadelphia probably 20, 25 minutes ago. Just a little wet. Ground is bare at the moment, so that's good.
All right,
just be ready when you get here.
Yeah, be safe. Tonight's not looking great, so be safe as you get closer to Syracuse. Certainly. All right,
I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah. So tell us about this game last night. I mean, we had a chance to watch it and get a sneak peek at St. Joe's, and Coppin State's not all that good, but St. Joe's went out there and did what they were supposed to do, and made a lot of shots early, had a big lead, and ran away with it. What stood out to you from that performance from this team last night?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the way that they finished it, the fact that they were able to build up a nice working margin and then pushed it over 20 points, kept it there, didn't relent. At the end of the day, still trying to figure out exactly what to make of this team. This is not, as you can attest to, you've seen the perimeter numbers, although they were a lot better last night. This is not a particularly good team from the perimeter. Very good free throw shooting team, and actually a decent team from two as well. But as heavy as analytics factor into the game these days, and how much everybody loves the 3-point shot, this isn't a great perimeter team. But to answer your question, nice to be on a win streak, and nice to be in a decent spot in the middle of non-conference play with 5 non-conference games to go.
So, you say on a little winning streak here, and I wanted to ask you about that. So they lost 3 straight early on, including, to one of Steve Donahue's former teams, their rivals from Penn. But they've won 4 straight, as you alluded to, including a win over Temple. So what has changed for this team, the last couple of weeks? What has gotten better over the course of this winning streak?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing was just the re-addition of Anthony Finkley into the rotation. That obviously was a little bit of a shot in the arm. He didn't necessarily have the greatest game on the road at UNLV. Ended up sitting the next game for personal reasons. Rutgers Camden came back against Princeton, was not particularly effective offensively, but some of the things that he did in terms of being able to pass the ball and distribute and be one of the leaders of this team, that ended up making a difference. And then Temple game came in and hit a couple of threes, and they've been better since. I'll be perfectly honest with you. In order for this team to be successful, they need him. They need Jaden Glover-Toscano. They need Deuce Jones. But Anthony Finkley, Steve Donahue would tell you, is the one that has been most affected by this coaching transition, with Billy Lang leaving in late August. Coach Donahue taking over because obviously Anthony Finkley is one of a handful of guys that have been in this program in the past and spent his first 2 years here. So I think that's been part of the difference for them. And the Temple win, Deuce Jones, they got what they have come to expect from him, which is a night in between 17, 18 and 23 points a game. He's a volume guy that can shoot you right in and shoot you right out of a basketball game. But when he gets going, like he did at the end of that Temple game, he ended up having the last 10 points, brought them back from a 5-point deficit, had something like 7 points in like a minute and 20 seconds or something like that. They they can potentially be dangerous. Now, against the Syracuse team that can play zone and has plenty of length, I don't know how that's going to play out.
You know, Matt, I wanted to ask you about the coaching change, and it did come at a rather odd time, right? Most coaches that leave, it's in the spring, and you have the whole summer to kind of figure things out. This one was late in the game. How surprised, how caught off guard, I guess, was St. Joseph's by the change? And you know, how are things going with, you know, Steve Donahue coming in, and how's that transition been?
Yeah, I think I would be lying to you if it said it didn't catch people off guard. Anytime you're a month before the start of the season and something like that happens, I would be the first person to tell you, no, I did not expect it. I can remember it was right around, I want to say right around Labor Day weekend, and it was like the Monday after a long weekend, Monday or Tuesday, and I got a text from someone that said, hey, did you see this? And I said, no, but I'm seeing it now. So it obviously came as a shock. The good news was Steve Donahue was already in place, had been hired in the spring, was able to build a rapport with these guys, already had, you know, a pre-existing relationship with some of them. So that made it a little bit easier. But no, it was definitely a surprise for sure.
As you look at this matchup tomorrow against Syracuse, I don't know how much you've had a chance to watch them this year, but they seem vastly improved from what we've seen the last, really few years, last 4 years or so. What stands out to you as you get ready to call this game about Syracuse?
Just the fact that it looks like, and you would know better than me, but it looks like they're defending like a tournament team.
Yeah.
I'm pretty heavy on Ken Pom. Anybody that's in the top 40 in terms of defensive efficiency, effective field goal percentage, turnover percentage, and 2-point D, and in one or two of those categories in the top 15, that's got my attention. So obviously that's pretty significant. The fact that Kyan Anthony obviously has been the real deal. I know Donnie Freeman has been out the last few games, but to have potentially at least two future pros on your roster and to be defending the way that they are, I think is pretty impressive. Haven't gone back and watched all of the Tennessee game. Plan to do that tonight. But, yeah, I would say just the way that they've defended as a whole.
You brought up Ken Pom. Ken Pom has this as a 14-point Syracuse win. With that in mind, lay out the blueprint for St. Joe's and how they keep this thing close, how they give themselves a chance in the final 5 minutes or so to pull out an upset.
And being kind of an average to below average perimeter team and leaning a little more on the below average side, I think they're going to have to shoot over their head, I think, from the perimeter more than anything. If Jaden Glover-Toscano can shoot to his capability, if Deuce Jones can somehow get into the teeth of that zone and make some plays, then maybe this is a tighter game than like a 10 or 12-point game. I don't know that I have a great answer to that question. Oh, and defensively, Justice Ajabal has been more effective in the last two games simply because he's been healthier than he has pretty much all season. So if they can get a little more consistency from their front court as well, then maybe potentially they can be in this game.
All right, Matt, great insight. If you wouldn't mind, we would love it if you could hand the phone over to your partner there, Joe. We just have a couple questions. My partner here loves bubble talk. Paulie loves to talk bubble. So if you could have Joe get involved, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we will. Steve will pass the phone back to him right now.
All right. I love it. This is live radio. We're passing the phone.
And
back.
I ruined the surprise.
You did ruin the surprise, but yes, Joe Lunardi is joining us as well. He's provides color analyst as Matt Martucci does the play-by-play for St. Joe's basketball. Joe, how you doing today?
Guys, you should know I'm thrilled to be asked, but this week I'm only making comments about the college football bracket.
Okay, so Notre Dame, go.
Screw them.
All right, what stands out to you about this Syracuse team from what you've seen to this point, Joe?
Well, I watched the entirety of the Tennessee game, and two of the three games from the players era. And, Cuse went 0-3 in those games, but they were all real games, especially Houston, as you know. And I thought to myself, they're better than I thought, particularly, for this being early in the year and with a lot of new faces. Full disclosure, I worked with a handful of ACC schools in the off-season on scheduling this year at the league's request. So I, did have some conversations with the coaching staff, Red and in particular Brendan Strawn, who had been at St. Joe's for a couple of years. And I think what you're seeing now is they're taking advantage of opportunities on the schedule. Like that Tennessee game is going to end up as an upper quad one win. And now I look at the middle of the ACC and I see a much stronger collection of potential bubble teams, including the Orange. So I think where you might have come into the year being, hopeful of being in the NCAA conversation, I believe that Syracuse will, in fact, be in the NCAA conversation, which, of course, is great news for the Orange and horrible for the bracketologist.
How important is, they got this, what you say is going to be an upper quad one win, but how many do you think a team needs, and how important is we've seen it, Syracuse beat Duke at home and didn't make the tournament. How important is it to get one on the road?
I think getting one away from home is certainly helpful. What we saw last year with North Carolina kind of upset a lot of the past assumptions. I mean, what were they, 1-12 or 1-13 in quad one, which apparently is disqualifying for 364 other schools, but worked for Carolina and, having the chair of the committee. So, far be it for me to be bitter, but the committee really went beyond itself with that selection, at least in terms of past precedent. Look, you cannot get in anymore without quad one wins, plural, and in spite of the exception we saw. And it's not so much a road game, but away from home. That's why, if Syracuse had gotten a win in Vegas, right now I have them on the outside looking in, but very close. They might very well be in already. And then, we'll see what they can do in the league. It's a marathon anymore with these 18 and 20 game conference schedules. And you in order to get the quality wins that you need in a league like the ACC, assuming that it's, that it hit bottom the last couple of years and is on the rebound, and I'm in that camp, you can't help but win a couple games away from home that will be resume builders. I think they're a live dark horse at this point.
All right. Well said. I know that is pleasing for SU fans to hear, the fact that you think that they're close and man, that Houston game.
Yeah, no, you hit one free throw in regulation, and
this would be a different topic.
You could be talking about a team that he's already got in.
Yeah, right, for sure.
Well, heck, hit a free throw in regulation, and you win the 87 championship over Purvis Ellison in Louisville. But I'm old enough to have watched the game and remember it.
Yeah.
All right.
But, guys, we have to give the props. I can read the room. I'm on my way to Syracuse, and I'd like my hotel room not to get egged.
Joe, you're a good sport. Thanks for coming on. All our best to Matt as well. Have a safe trip. It's not great here, so be safe as you guys drive.
All right.
Enjoy your time
You need this knucklehead?
No,
you need this knucklehead on the phone again?
No, we're good. Tell Matt thank you for us, and we'll see you guys inside the Dome tomorrow. That's Joe Lunardi, Matt Martucci, calling the game for St. Joseph's tomorrow inside the Dome.